to Joe Goes Everywhere, a Big Blend radio food, wine, and travel podcast featuring award-winning photographer and travel writer Joe Clark. Let's find out where she's taking us today. Ho, ho, ho. Isn't it right, Joe? Ho,
It
ho, ho,
is.
Joe. And Joe is
Ho,
here.
ho, ho.
Oh, yeah. Well, cheers to you, Joe. I know that you go everywhere, but today we're talking about home for the holidays, and that's Myrtle Beach region, the Grand Strand and Surfside, your hometown in Myrtle Beach. But we're going to talk about a beach style Christmas season, which is fun.
It
I mean,
is.
it's warm. You can go
We don't
walking
build
on the beach.
snowmen, we build sandmen.
You Sandman. But I did see photos in your article. You've got snowmen and you've got Santas on the beach.
We do.
Did I see an adult sitting on Santa's lap?
Yes, you did. And you're going to see more pictures like that because I sat on his lap and snuck in a kiss or two.
Joe goes everywhere.
Including the North Pole. Maybe he'll invite me home with him.
Ooh. That's going to be fun. I mean, do you have, it looks like, and everyone, the link to Joe's article is in the episode notes, or you can go to recipestravelculture.com. But you have 18 things that you tell people about and some insider tips and all of that. So get packing and get going. And if you don't go this year, there's next year. But it's got to be fun with boats. When we lived out in San Diego and being in the beach side, and we've always lived near beach, in South Africa, it was always at the beach, but it was hot. It was summer, so it was a little different. But I love seeing the lights on the water. I love that.
It doubles your fun.
And the
that
boats.
Reflection. Yeah.
Yeah. And the boats being all decked out. It's fun.
It's
not too cold. It's chilly, but not,
Well, until the last week, it hasn't been cold. I was walking in a bathing suit last Tuesday for my 3-mile walk every afternoon. I was still
Did you see Santa and sit on his lap then?
No, darn it.
I had to go there. Sorry.
I should have thought of that. Yeah.
Ooh, you might have got an extra present.
I might have gotten that visit invite. That's true.
Did you take him eggnog?
No, I didn't. It was hot that day. He would have probably preferred iced tea that day. Felt sorry for him and all that fur.
Yeah, really. But this is so fun.
We've had 70s and 80s right up until this week. And now this week we've had 2 nights we've gotten down to 26.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a little.
And we've got a couple more coming, it looks like. But yeah, we get a few cold days, but we struggle through and it warms back up and we quit complaining.
That's it warms up. Yeah, you got to have that little spike and that little difference. And the weather is wonky everywhere, but at least you're not having ice storms and things like that and shoveling snow.
We don't have that.
You know about snow. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, I moved here to get away from snow. Now we have had snow. We have snow maybe once every 7 or 8 years. We'll have a good snow, like maybe 8 inches even. But the last and only white Christmas was back in 1989. So it was actually just before I moved here. And
well,
they had 14 inches of snow on Christmas Eve. So we still talk about the white Christmas.
The white Christmas. That was the one.
The one.
Well, it's neat because it seems like you do a lot of nature, like lights, twinkly lights in nature, like at the gardens. Tell it in the state, Huntington State Park, right? Huntington Beach.
Yep, Huntington Beach State Park.
Yeah, every time I say Huntington Beach, I go to California again. But
jump back over
coming back to South Carolina, not Southern Carolina. Listen, I'm bipolar right now.
I think you're bicoastal.
Bicoastal, yeah. So I can talk about the North and the South Poles, So you go to the beach on Christmas, you're going to see twinkling lights at night. You're going to see boats. There's a regatta that people can see.
Yep. That is the Saturday after Thanksgiving is when the big regatta happens. So that's like the kickoff to the whole season is the boat parade down the intercoastal waterway.
Okay.
Some of the other
Mm.
towns, Murrells Inlet and Conway, have had boat parades in the past, but this year, sadly, there were no boat parades for
Huh.
Christmas. We all had them for 4th of July, but we didn't have anything for Christmas. I was so disappointed
Yeah.
because
Well,
they're beautiful. I love
I
them.
think you need to talk to Santa and tell him you want to be on the boat.
That's true.
I
He
think
and
he
I should
needs,
be on a boat.
yeah, I think so. I think so. So you've got the water, you've got lights, twinkly lights, and then walks. Like you can go walking through places that are all lit up and you can
We
get
do.
lit.
Yeah, you can get lit and walk through lights. You
So,
can do
so
both. The Murrells
yeah.
Inlet Marsh Walk. Um,
Wow.
it's
That's
right
neat.
along the tidal creek. There, the marina's right there. It's the access to the ocean for the boats that are coming in and out. The smaller ones, the fishing boats and the tourist pontoons and things like that. But you walk right along the side, and so at Christmas they have candy cane archways above you, so you're walking through archways of candy canes and lights. Gingerbread houses, you can go through the doorways and into another section. And of course,
Oh, I
there's
want that.
and all along the marsh walk there are restaurants, and on the back side of the restaurants is where they usually put the bandstand and a bar, so you can walk up from the marsh walk and boardwalk and have a drink or get a drink and not have to go through the restaurant. You just walk right up and get a drink and listen to the music. And when
Ooh,
they start playing something you don't like, you walk a little further and find another spot. It's a mile long, and I think it's a mile long, and it's wonderful. You just wander along and enjoy the lights, and you're beside the water. So, like you said, they're twinkling and reflecting off the water. Um,
it
it's
sounds magical.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's magical.
I love twinkly lights. I don't I want them year round. So, you know, I always tell people I'm threatening to turn our car into a little taco truck with taco twinkly
Ooh,
lights,
that'd be cute.
you know, as we go
But then
cross
you'd have to
country.
cook all day.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, but I do
People
like
would
to
be
eat them.
flagging you
Mm.
down.
Speaking of food, okay, so that's the one thing about the season, right? And you did one of the podcasts, you were talking about the food and how multicultural the area is. So, like, you've
Yes.
got all kinds of good food. The holiday season, do you have any? And you know what? I know your article links to the food part too, so everyone check that out. Um, does does anybody go for it in regards to, okay, it's the holiday season, we're going to do fudge, we're going to do extra naughty cookies, all those kinds of things?
Ooh,
Are there like
you're
holiday
full of good
menus?
ideas.
Ooh, yeah, and pecan pie. I said pecan.
Pecan. We say
That's,
pecan.
do they come in a can?
Well, no, but you don't put a trash con out at the curb every week. So we say pecan.
Okay, well,
Pecan pie.
pecan
You've
pie,
got
pecan
more
pie.
airs than we do. Pecan pie.
This is what I learned in Texas. I have no clue. I think we've always said pecan. I don't know how to speak anymore because everything's different no matter where you go.
Everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
So eventually it's like I don't know how to say this word. Is it pecan, pecan? You know, and then if I talk to my friends in England, now I'm in trouble because I'll go British, I'll go South African, I'll go Dutch. I will. Let's go Dutch. But
Let's go Dutch.
yeah, talk about the food for the holiday season. Any place that you
Well,
recommend?
not really. Every place that I go is good. Um, the main thing in the winter is, of course, that's oyster season, the months with an R. So,
Oh.
and not necessarily the months with an R. September has an R, but it was 95, so scratch
Mm.
that. Our oysters were not coming in. I'm not sure that we were harvesting much in October, but it's colder now, so we're harvesting local oysters. So
Huh.
oyster roasts are always a wonderful thing when you can go and just eat oysters all night.
This is
Other people
cool.
fill up on all the sides, and me and my little oyster knife are busy the whole night at the oyster table.
Oh,
You can lose money on me. I can eat my weight in oysters.
ooh, don't do a buffet for her, you know.
No,
Well, now what about, the music? Because it seems like this is like showtime. Like how
it
many
is.
there's Elton John concerts, it's, all kinds. You've got Motown. I know you were doing Motown last
Yep,
night.
I did. It
You've
was
got
fabulous.
all the Opry, so you've got all different styles of shows and concerts happening. But it's not the Elton John, but it almost is. He looks pretty darn
Almost.
close, right?
Yeah, and you should hear him.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah, he's really good. That's at GTS Theater, and they have Elton John, and he's there year round. But Christmas, of
okay.
course, he flavors it a bit more. Had some Christmas music, and they also have the Motown show, which I went, like you said, I went to that last night. Fantastic. I don't know how they have so many talented people in one place, and I didn't get an ounce of it. I
Mm.
sing with lots of abandon, but nobody would pay to hear me. Um, the
Well,
girls
it's
and
important being a good audience member, you know.
I was in the amen corner. They noticed us from the stage, and after I guess it was the first or second song, and it was all the guys at that point. The girls hadn't joined them for the Motown show. But one of the guys he was trying to ask the lead fella uh, if he wanted to do a certain song next. And I saw him doing this, and I went, "Oh, tracks of my tears." And I was saying it to the girl next to me that was with me, and the lead guy from the stage turned around and said, "Who said that?" And I went,
Oh,
and and he said, "Is that what you want to hear?" And I said, "No, not necessarily, but I thought that's what he asked you." And he said, "It is. You're smart."
see, I know that, when Nancy, you and I finally get together, we're going to be in trouble because I get in trouble at trivia nights because I open my mouth.
It just comes out. You can't help it,
Hmm.
right?
Have you ever been to a show where they had a hypnotist and
Yes,
ended
I
up?
have, and I've been
Did you go on
sort of,
stage like I ended up on stage?
yeah, yeah,
And
of
I
course,
did it
because
after a couple wines, and you weren't supposed to have the wine, but I had the wine and I got hypnotized. I ended up on stage, and I have a funny
did you
feeling
cluck?
I did something like that. Something
Well,
apparently I
mostly
made people
I
laugh.
laid my head over when they said go to sleep. I laid my head over on the person next to me because I needed a pillow. If I'm going to sleep, I'm like, okay, I'm
That's
gone.
funny. Did you cluck or did you
No,
snore?
no, I didn't snore and I didn't cluck. Mostly I slept, I think.
All right.
It
Well, we're
was
not doing any
recorded. I
hypnotism
haven't watched.
shows then.
I haven't had the guts to watch the
Well,
recording. And that was probably
you know
10
what?
years ago.
This is bad. I want to go to your Christmas walk though. The
Yeah,
Marsh and go have a cocktail. Now,
yeah.
do the
They have hot
alligators
mulled
come out?
wine and hot mulled
Ooh,
cider, so
uh,
you can get hot drinks if it's cold enough.
ooh, that's
They're
nice. A
really
little bit
good.
of
So it's
hot
yeah,
chocolate. That's a little bit of
hot
adult
chocolate
hot
with
chocolate.
additives. Yes,
Yeah, oh,
definitely.
additives. I like
Yeah,
that.
I mean peppermint schnapps belongs in hot chocolate. If you
Do
haven't tried
you?
that, you need to go get a bottle.
Okay.
Peppermint
All right.
schnapps, hot chocolate, and marshmallows on top. You'll be all
Oh, are
set for
you kidding
Santa.
me?
If you leave that under the tree, there's no telling what Santa will leave you.
Oh, see, now she's getting to the scoop of what we wanted, the delicious factor. So we got
Yeah.
oysters and we've got that. Now, but because you're on the marsh walk, do you see alligators? Because
Well,
they could
no,
add
it's
to the
usually
lines,
dark.
but they got those little eyes.
Well, I mean, they're there. If there's water in South Carolina along the coast, if there's water, there's an alligator. I mean, people are
Love that.
surprised when they see them in a pond on a golf course.
Hmm.
I'm not surprised. This is where they live. We moved
Well,
in.
now what's up with the aquarium? They
Oh,
have
the
lights too.
aquarium. They have a tree for every state and every territory. So there's 55 Christmas trees, each decorated for, one tree per state. So it's
No way.
decorated for each state. And over half of our states touch an ocean. So lots of the trees have, pink flamingos and
It's
seashells and things
awesome.
like that. I love doing my tree. I did just a nature tree, and for a while I added other things, but it finally ended up being just sand dollars and
Mm.
starfish, white sand dollars and
Oh,
white starfish, and crystal hearts because my birthday is Valentine's Day, so I collect hearts. So the glass hearts, crystal, um, and that's all that would be on that tree, and then the white twinkly lights.
see, I thought you were going to put a wine tree together
I have not done that. I
yet.
sh- yeah,
There's
yet.
always next year, there's always
That's
next
true.
year. The only thing is you might have to empty the bottles before you do it.
I could do that.
I
I
think
could do
that's an
that.
easy thing. So the Huntington Beach State Park, and so they have a fair. So that's the other thing is these events that you can go to, which are fun, because
Yeah,
that's a really cool way to go holiday shopping too. And I
it
wanted to
is.
touch on that in your area shopping wise. So like mom and pop shops, do you have that kind of
We have lots of those. We have the island hammock shops in Polly's Island. We have lots of craft fairs, and the
mm,
one at Atalaya at the castle at Huntington Beach State Park is just once one day and once a year. So that's a specific Christmas festival, and it's really neat. Lots of groups like the Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts will come, and they will take one room in Atalaya Castle and like put in a cot with a quilt bedspread and a little nightstand with a Christmas tree, but they'll decorate it like it would have been decorated
mm,
in the 30s when Anna and Archer Huntington owned the property. It was left as a legacy to the state of South Carolina, so it is um, it's wonderful that they did that. And Anna and Archer Huntington are the ones that started Brook Green Gardens as well. The
okay.
properties, the plantations went from from um, the river to the ocean. So there would be a block of land from river to ocean, and there were four that adjoined
Mm-hmm.
that they bought. So then the highway divided it. Highway 17 that goes from Myrtle Beach down to Charleston divided it. So Brook Green Gardens is on one side of that highway, the riverside, and you can take a pontoon boat tour down the river, and they'll teach you about the rice plantations that used to be there and how they grew rice. And the other side is Huntington Beach State Park,
Mm,
which also then has Atalaya. That was built in the 30s, and Anna and Archer built that as her winter studio. So she sculpted there. And you've got to remember, Anna didn't marry until late in life. I wouldn't even guess what her age was, other than probably close to 50. So she and Archer never had children. Um, but her father was a biologist or botanist, but he had that interest in animals
mm-hmm.
and studied animals. And she and her sister both grew up in that environment and studying animals and sculpted. Her sister sculpted too.
Mm,
Um, and Anna sculpted into her 90s. I can remember when she
that's amazing.
died. Yeah, I had been to Brook Green many times when I knew about her, and then when she died, I can remember that. Um, but this place is on the ocean, but far enough back that it wasn't damaged. It was a spotting point during World War II. We talk a lot on a lot of your shows about
Mm-hmm.
World War II, but Atalaya was used to patrol the area and make sure that we didn't have German submarines coming ashore in
We
our
don't want
area.
those.
Yeah, it's an amazing area and a very very interesting history. But they had Atalaya was built in a square with the cistern in the middle, and Atalaya I think is Spanish for watchtower. And
Oh,
so there's this tower in the center and all the rooms around it. One of those rooms was it looks like a huge warehouse. I mean, it's huge and high, and then down the sides are windows. That was her sculpting studio. And right
Oh,
off
nice
the
view.
studio, there were stables, there's a bear cage. She sculpted animals from the
Yeah.
animal. She would sketch and sculpt and had the actual animal there. It wasn't like she was working from memory. She had the animals. So when you see these bears and every little piece of their chin and every angle of their skin, the way the hair lays, it's amazing. But she was working from the actual animal. And the
Hmm.
funny story about her is she would buy these. She was working on I think it was the Don Quixote statue, and she bought this poor old broken down plow horse for her model. But she kept, she took good care of her animals. It got so fat and healthy, she had to buy another broken down horse before she
Dude.
finished, because she kept getting them healthy, and then they
Oh,
weren't a good model.
oh man. So with her studio and all of that, that gets all decked out too, then the
It does,
tower.
and that huge studio is where the local Polly's Island band. There's a public band that they come and set up and play, and then there's a chorus that comes and sings with them. But they fill that room with music, and it's just fabulous to go.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
It
So
is. I
lots of
love
fun.
going. Yeah.
I want to go there. I want to
And you
go
can do
do the
your
Marsh
Christmas
Walk.
shopping, and
That's
you
cool.
can buy some snickerdoodles and get some hot wine or hot cocoa before the concert, and go in there and sit and eat your cookies and have a great time.
Sounds like you're having a good time.
I
I mean, even just before this podcast, we were looking at other radio dates that we do on other Big Blend radio shows, and I'm like, she's wine tasting, she's going to a concert, she's got another walking, twinkly light walk thing, and I'm like, we lost Joe. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
we lost you for the month, but it's this
Basically,
is
I've got
fun.
something. I've got something almost every day for the next 2 weeks. We've got a trolley car that I may have talked about before, because they have Catherine does trolley tours and historical tours, and we've been
Uh-huh.
to the music venues and places that the shagging started, and the motel that is in the Green Book, where only the places in the Green Book were the only places Black performers could stay. They would perform
Oh,
at a white hotel and have to go and stay at one of the other places that was in the Green Book
no.
that allowed Black people.
Wow.
So all of that history is here. And so she does these tours that are just amazing and
Cool.
enlightening. But then Surfside gets those trolleys, and they run them all through Surfside so that we can see the lights. So you carol and drink hot chocolate and ride in the trolley and look at all the pretty twinkly lights. Another thing you would love.
I would love that. Exactly. That is cool.
Yeah.
Man,
So
well,
that's coming
lots
up
of fun.
next week.
So
How
she's not
soon
going to be
can
able
you
to
get
come.
here?
Well, listen, I know. Well, we'll be seeing you in the new year. That is on the list. That's a to do, must do.
Yes,
That is a
definitely.
must do. Is
I
we
think
see
I
you
think
when we come
next
east.
December Myrtle Beach is a must do. Come and
Okay.
spend December here.
Okay.
Start looking now. Anybody listening that has a house near Myrtle Beach,
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
going somewhere next December, this girl will come and sit with your dog,
That's
and
right.
then she can
And
go with
Nancy
me and
does.
party.
See, that's what happens. Nancy is hanging out with the dogs right now, having fun, and she's like, "Hello, hello." But that's it. That's what we do. We pet sit. But this is to me magical because I love the ocean and I love tide pools. I love
Oh yeah.
gardens.
Oh
So
yeah.
all of this is so I know I'm
And
not
in
the
the
only one at
winter we
all.
have these gorgeous camellias that are blooming. I mean, they start blooming in October and November, and they bloom right on through till
No
April.
way.
Yeah.
Now there's a camellia trail in Georgia. So
Yeah.
I wonder if it connects to South Carolina.
Well, I don't know. That's
Hey,
interesting.
we
We'll
might
have to
have to
find
do
out.
we might have to do a little like
But you can spend an entire day at Brook Green Gardens in the camellia
I
area.
want that. Listen, we're coming to see you.
Every
We are.
color. I mean, there's pink and red and white striped peppermints.
Oh,
Just
oh, let's
it's
go.
amazing.
Let's go do that. I love
Okay.
camellias. Yeah, yeah, let's go.
And
Let's do
then
it.
Night of a Thousand Candles at Brook Green is in its 30th, no, 25th year. 25th year. Uh, it
Wow.
started with luminaries the first few years that I went. I can vividly
Mm,
remember because people would kind of have a wine or two too many and wander off the edge of the sidewalk and knock over bags because they were little brown paper lunch bags with about this much sand in the bottom and a candle in it to make the luminaries. And people would kick them over, and then the bag would go up in flames, and that would be the end of that luminary. So by the end of the
wow.
night, they were kind of spotty, but they're high tech now. They have actual timers and plastic white lunch
Yeah,
bags, so there's not a lot of danger of the candles burning up the bags, but
we
there's
don't want that.
music. There's a couple of performance tents and some of my uh, favorite bands. Paul Grimshaw, his band is there every year. Vocal Additions. Oh my goodness, that's a local choir, and they will just blow your mind. The
Mm.
harmonies and the singing and the choreography they put into it, they're fabulous.
Oh,
Telling you,
this sounds
they're
good.
fabulous.
And whenever you do see an alligator, the alligator has a Santa hat.
He should.
Yeah,
If he
I want to
if
do
he
that.
did, he'd probably get more good press instead of bad
Yeah,
press.
we love alligators. They're cute. I think they are, but I know everybody's got a
You
different
don't live
thing.
here.
Well, so listen, everyone, we do get Joe again this month on Big Blend Radio, which is exciting. Be coming on our show with IFTWA, which is the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association. She will be on next Friday. So Friday the 13th. No technical stuff's allowed to
Somebody has
happen.
to do it.
Yeah, and they say Mercury's coming in too. So, I think we should all just stay home, listen to podcasts, and drink eggnog or cocoa that's got peppermint schnapps. This is
That's
sounding
true.
good.
That's true. Or I
But
can
you'll
just
be
go.
on.
I'll go to Greg Roll's show again up in North Myrtle Beach. That's
Ooh,
another show you cannot miss. Greg's show.
mm,
He's got a great group that he works with. The singing there's only four, but my goodness, they fill that
mm.
auditorium, and then they have a band. The show band is phenomenal. There's no other word for them. And there's a really good
Wow.
sushi place in the back parking lot, basically. You cut through his back parking lot and you're right there at Odori's Japanese Steakhouse. We went there Monday night.
You're having a lot of fun, but we do get you again. So this is exciting. You're going to be talking about Sonoma, 25 must-dos, right? In Sonoma for
Yeah, at
2025.
least.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to even. I
To
mean, you got
yeah, 20.
18 for
I'm gonna have to
Christmas.
yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it way down.
She goes. She's like 25. That's it.
25. I could spout off
No,
25
26
without
for you.
trying.
No, 26 for you. I love it. I love it. So I'm glad you're going to be back on. And then the next time Joe goes everywhere, we're going to be in the new year. So isn't that cool?
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
will
what you're going to
be.
be up to. We're going to let everyone wonder what's going to happen in January with Joe. You never know.
It's a secret. A
Yeah,
well
it's a
kept
secret.
secret.
Well, it'll be leading up to your birthday though. So.
That's true.
Mm,
Hmm.
hmm, hmm.
I gotta think of
Uh-huh.
something special to do for my birthday, don't I?
Yeah.
Where are you
Hey,
going to
we
be
might
on
see
my
you by then.
birthday? Where are you going to be in
We
February?
will be on our way to we'll be in Asheville. We'll
Asheville or Nashville?
Asheville, North Carolina. So, yep, won't be far. Yep.
You won't be. I
And
may
then
have
we
to
go to
scoot up
Kansas
there.
City. See? Yeah, we'll do something fun. Everyone, there's gonna be shenanigans on the January show and
There's
February
fun to be
shows.
had. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone, happy holidays. Thanks for joining us. Happy holidays to you and yours, Joe. Have a wonderful
Thank
holiday
you.
season. I know you'll send me pictures.
Oh,
Everybody,
definitely.
I want to tell people to follow you on Instagram and Facebook because you're putting up all, you can follow Joe as she goes everywhere in Myrtle Beach over the holiday season. She puts up photos from the shows and, everything that she's up to. Wine
Well,
tastings. I know you're on your way to a
not
wine
quite
tasting now,
everything.
but yeah. Um, we're going to see what you do with Santa.
That may not be posted. You
Okay.
never know. That may not be posted.
When you hang with Santa, it stays with Santa.
That's it. That's it.
All
What
right.
happens at the North Pole stays at the North Pole.
Well, for me, I like to go all over. So here it goes. All right. Thanks so much, Joe. You take
Merry
care.
Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for listening and thanks for following me. See you next year.
Thanks for joining us. Keep up with Big Blend Radio's Joe Goes Everywhere podcast on bigblendradio.com. Keep up with Joe's adventures. Go to haveglasswilltravel.com and recipestravelculture.com.